What's up, guys? Sean. We're back from Colorado. What a blast. Colorado Springs is amazing. I got a couple of posts on Twitter, Instagram maybe. You know how like Facebook and kind of goes over to Instagram. Some of your stuff it transposes over. Colorado Springs, we're home, we're broke. Expensive, but well worth it. Garden of the Gods. We were supposed to go up Pikes Peak Saturday, but the weather precluded that from happening. Saw NORAD. NORAD is that mountain where they can protect the president. Look up NORAD, N-O-R-A-D. Can withstand a nuclear attack. Saw where that was and all that. Went to see the Royal Gorge out near Canyon City. Passed Florence Supermax Prison on the way. Waved to El Chapo. Really, really good trip. Mandy got to see her dad and her son, my father-in-law and my stepson. It was amazing. And as a result of that, really didn't know what kind of drama was going on. You know, really weren't really interested in it. I know that Mandy kept up with a couple of her friends and this and that, but here's why I bring it up. We're in the airport yesterday. We took my father-in-law to the airport, dropped him off. His flight was like at 10 or 10:30 or so. Our flight wasn't until like 5. So we tried to get another flight out. We tried to get home earlier, but we couldn't. So we have a mobile hotspot that we sat with us, and we just watched drama. And it was a pretty good day to jump back into the drama. DC Media Girl and Randy both with numbers in their respective chats. And we got to watch that. We were sitting in the airport and I had Randy's stream going. No, I had DC's going on Rumble. Mandy had Randy's. We had our headphones going and we listened to both of them. And so I have some insight on all of that. And we have friends that are in DC's chat and in DC's camp. And you know, Randy was going after DC about Lil Rosie. And so there was a few people, not Clara herself, but there was a few people who were concerned about what that might do to each other's channels. And will the stream that Randy did, will that affect DC's numbers? And what DC was saying, will that affect? And the short answer to that is no. It's not. What Randy said in her chat and in her live stream is not going to be damaging to DC Media Girl. It's the echo chamber is talking about it, and Randy has some people, but Randy's people, the 400 people that are in there, they're in it for the drama. They didn't neither care nor dislike DC Media or vice versa. They're just there for it because whether you like Randy or not, when she does old style drama, she brings a lot of people in her chat, Randy and Wendy. They do. They're OGs, and they've been doing this as long as any of us. And what I was explaining to one person today on the phone, Mandy talks to a lot of people. And every so often, Mandy will say, Sean, can you weigh in? I'll put it on speaker and I talk to him. In the DC, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I might be a little bit off, but my perception is most of the people, the OGs that are content creators, have kind of moved their niche a little bit, and we all have our own followers and people that we all have a bunch that kind of watch everything, everybody in the old DC, but we all have our own audience that really don't care about what else is going on around them. They don't care. Like, for instance, people that support us really don't care about Sam. And they really don't care, us ignoring that and only weighing in on it a couple of times was good in the aspect that people are like, don't waste your time on that drama, and vice versa. So a lot of these people, most of the people that follow DC over there, they don't know nor care what Randy was talking about. So when Randy going in on DC the way that she did really kind of helps DC build her channel. Perfect example with the whole thing with the Sam versus ATX, our channel grew and we got a lot of support. People that leaned in and watched us that wouldn't normally do it, because at the end of the day, the morality of it, the humanity of it, people don't care about it. people calling people's, you know, parents and this and that, or CPS and all that. People, you know, the vast majority of people that have their lives outside of YouTube will lean in, and they're not invested in it like those of us that content creators and our followers and our echo chambers. So I wanted to offer that to that person. The bottom line is Randy's stream, I didn't watch it all, I watched some of it. I watched quite a bit of it, let's say. But there's nothing in there, there was nothing shown, and there was nothing done, and there was nothing put up there to sway people's opinion that much. Randy got her people riled up. But what I noticed as both streams are running, and as DC on Rumble with about 180 people, 160, when Randy started talking about it, her numbers went up, and people wanted to lean in and see what it was. But as far as for let me explain why. The thing, they were talking about Lil Rosie, and I don't like talking about her because I really didn't. When that whole thing was going on several years ago, I was with somebody else, and we weren't really part of that vernacular. So I, as an OG, really have a position of on the outside looking in. I was hanging out with Negs at the time a little bit. And, but here's what I've always said. Whenever Mandy wants to weigh in on it, I would say, just don't. Do what the vast majority of the drama community, you know, is doing, which is not jumping on that, not coming in on it. Randy was talking about people bringing up Lil Rosie, but if you go since Rosie's passing and looked at anybody that's brought them up in their chat, it's widely predominantly Randy that's done it. Okay, so it's however, you know, she has a feeling that she has a right to claim it, and maybe she does, but it really not that many other people talk about it. It'll be Randy. If someone does somewhere else, instead of just like letting it go, she will be sure to spin up a live stream about it. And that's where it comes. Where are we all, these OG creators? Most of us have gone on to do other things, like Mandy and I have our Boring Chicken channel, and you know, the gals over there and Savage Live and the ship, they've been concentrating on going after people and getting their channels, people that need their channels to go away, like Molly Golightly and this and that. Negs is over there and is kind of, and he's now with DC Media Girl, literally, and they are doing their thing. He's over there with Tragic. But Randy's niche is, she's the one that's kind of, she owns the whole old school freaking, drama stuff. That's kind of her platform, and people go to that, and she's still there. She's still in the old school. She really hasn't evolved out of it. She just talks. Occasionally she'll review things or whatever. And if you notice, for whatever reason, they sort of think, Wendy says it all the time, not as much as she used to. When they're going for somebody, they'll say something like, she said it yesterday, she'd say, DC's over there on a channel that nobody watches and nobody cares about anyway, which is kind of an oxymoron because they're giving it a lot of attention, and she's not right about that. When she's saying nobody cares about it over in Rumble and this and that, there's a ton of people that will now go over there and lean in and look, and then they'll subscribe to it, and then they'll just be silent observers, because a lot of Wendy's people and Randy's people over there, they like the old school drama. So if you mention something in their streams, they're going to go over and they're going to help those other channels grow. It's just how it is. But, so as far as that goes, I just wanted to say to people, they were going after DC, I believe, because she was talking about some things and some tweets and some quotes and things that were, I don't want to get specifically into it, but enough that they were upset that DC Media Girl, who was not DC, had no right to do it. But here's what I want to offer. Everybody in the DC OG and a lot of other people, they know how everything went down with Rosie getting sick and her unfortunate passing. We know the streams that happened. We know what people said and how they handled it and this and that. We know the people that have made amends for things they might have said disparaging towards Lil Rosie and her family. You know, I know Savage has, I know ATX has, a bunch of people has. I think even Shoot the Shit did, I'm not sure. So I think a lot of this spurs from Anna Nicole, who played a stream that showed a panel that a bunch of OGs were on, and Randy was one of them, that it appears when you watch it, they were sort of making Lil Rosie offer up some proof of what her condition was. And here's the thing about that. It existed. We know that that stream existed and what was said in it and what it appeared, you know, what happened in that stream. It wasn't like it was news. It wasn't like Anna Nicole, who I like her channel because somehow either Anna Nicole is somebody else that came under a different name years ago, or she got with somebody that has just dropped a trove of information, old OG drama community streams that she's now brought up. And she's starting to gain a little steam. And the thing about it is, and what impressed Mandy and I are, wow, look at the stream. Look at it. You know, this stuff really happened. But I think most of us know what happened, so I don't know how it benefited Randy to do the stream that she did. Her people, just for her people, and to put numbers in her chat, because she's good at doing that. You can't say that she's not. But other than that, you didn't really see any OGs in there. One person that I noticed was in the chat was Al, who desperately needs somebody to kind of align with. But she didn't. So she was in there. And then what I wanted you to concentrate it on was, if you go back and watch this stream, Yaba, YouTube Underground, goes in and leaves a $20 super chat, $19.99. And it's simultaneous when it comes on with what's rolling in the chat, which is somebody was trying to invoke ATX, Mandy, my wife, in the whole Rosie thing in a disparaging light. And so there were some other people in the chat that were weighing in on it as well. And this person was saying ATX and the boardroom, you know, essentially weren't real good to Rosie. And I thought that was ironic that right when that comment came in there, Yaba left her super chat. And people were saying, but the boardroom, so if you're implicating the boardroom, you're implicating Sam. And then people walked it back and were like, no, we mean ATX, but you're saying the boardroom, which you were referring to the boardroom streams, right? And they're like, yeah, but we meant ATX, but Sam was boardroom as well. So in this situation, if you are going to invoke Mandy ATX in the boardroom, you also must invoke Sam Telfer as well in anything that you say. So there's that. And if you notice in that chats like that, there's been a couple of times where Randy, not Wendy, was trying to kind of go for Mandy a little bit, and it doesn't go well when she does. I mean, and it's not like it's this or that, but it's that there's enough people in the chat that say, no, you know, that's, you know, we like Mandy and this and that, or that didn't happen. I've seen Savage come into the chat before, when I've seen Savage jump on panel with Mandy when she was on stream with Randy, and Randy was going for Mandy. Savage came on panel, and the thing about that is as the OGs, there are more OGs that are okay with Mandy than there are that isn't. And so that goes back to my original point that Sam really hasn't got anybody to ride by her side going against Mandy for that reason. And we had a few streams that we responded to Sam, but the bottom line is that Sam started to look pretty crazy because it was so one-sided, where she was, you know, talking and nobody was responding to it, nor was there anybody that jumped on it with her and did vlogs. Owl a little bit, but we've already discussed her. So somebody said to me, well, I thought this is clearly DC and Yaba and Sam are clearly at odds. I thought you said that Sam and Yaba couldn't get anybody to ride with them. And I clarified it. I said they don't get anybody to ride with them when it comes to going after ATX. That's what I meant. This is a little bit different. It is pretty clear, and there's comments here and there that lead to the effect. I think everybody kind of knows that Wendy and Randy are not going to speak out openly about Sam, despite how Sam acts. They're not. They're scared of her. And in this case, you know, you see Randy watches her chat. And when the thing came up with ATX and this and that, and other people were like, no, but you gotta rope Sam in. If you're roping in ATX in the boardroom on this subject, which was little Rosie, you've got to implicate Sam as well. And I think the whole point of that stream, Sam was mentioned. There were some things that DC re-quoted Sam is saying, and Randy didn't like that. But here's the thing. So, and during the whole time, they didn't walk that one down at all. They kind of kept redirecting. And here's the ironic thing about that. Of all the people after Rosie's passing that came back and made amends, and there was a lot of OGs that did it, that had to come back and said, wow, we were wrong on that. Make our amends and make our apologies and move on. But the one that hasn't done that won't ever come on and say, hey, I messed that up, and this was Sam. And this is what the OGs know. They know that, Randy, you're doing this stream and you're going after somebody and talking about all the people that were involved. You were just as involved, and I'm talking about Randy. I don't know so much about Wendy, but I've seen, because there's more streams out there that are going to kind of come out about it, I think. And Randy was just as complicit as most of the other OGs were, most of them. And most of them, almost all of them, had to come back and say, man, I'm sorry about that. I know Mandy has, for a fact. And then a lot of other ones, I think I remember Savage. I think I remember a couple others that said, well, we were wrong about it. Or, you know, we were wrong about her. Not about what was going on, because Rosie was in the drama. She was in it for a while and wasn't so good to some other people before she got sick. One that you have not seen apologize is Sam. And there's that. So I'm going to throw that out there. But the reason why I said that is I'm an OG, and all the rest of them that probably caught part of this stream but didn't comment on it, they know it too. But it's very evident. Like, for instance, Randy won't go after Sam. She won't. And we know that in the last month, Sam has contacted my mom and this and that. Wendy especially would be vehemently against that. But we could have a panel today on Randy's channel where with Sam was on it and I was on it. And I could say, Sam, you contacted my mother, you contacted some organizations. And Sam would say, you damn right I did. And Wendy nor Randy would not say anything about it. Fact. And that's what we know. That's what we all know. So I want to bring that out. I wanted to weigh in. So this is what I'm kind of telling people, is that the OC or the OG DC community, they remember what happened. They know what's going on. None of us are going to address that. We need to let it go. We need to let her rest in peace, which is the ironic thing, because it's Randy who keeps bringing it back up. She could have just said nothing. She could have just, and it would have, because the thing is the stream that was played on Anna Nicole's channel was almost a month ago now. And a whole lot of people that hadn't seen it before are going to go run look at it now. That's the thing. A lot of people that saw it said, wow. And there really wasn't a whole lot of commenting on it, because everybody said, yeah, that is fact. The OGs said that stream did happen. We do realize that it happened. And that's our past. And that's an unfortunate thing from the DC's past. So why Randy would all of a sudden go after DC Media Girl and really bring this to life. It's 24 hours ago or whatever. And there's a lot more people weighing in, going over to Anna Nicole's channel and going to look at some of, not just the Rosie thing, but she's got a lot of old OG stuff. And the OGs that are confident and have their channels in this and that, they're just kind of sitting back going, yeah, oh, that's interesting. Remember that happened? Oh man, there's a stream on there where my now wife is crying on panel. It's not a really good thing for her to see or to remember, but it's fact. The streams and how the drama community treated Rosie in a drama context, it happened, and there's stuff out there. One of the things that nobody can seem to find or doesn't want to show is how the boardroom handled Rosie in her final moments, in her final weeks. And it wasn't real good. And I'm sitting here saying, my wife was on a stream and was contributed to it. And Mandy has made her amends to the community, whether people accept them or not. Here's the thing. We are offering apologies and condolences to somebody that's no longer here. There's no one else as content creators that it doesn't matter when people make amends for something. It's for that person. It's so that they can move on. What our opinions about it doesn't matter. And I don't know all the proponents of AA, but what step is it when you make the amends? You do it and then you move on. And it doesn't really matter if the person that you made amends to accepts it or not. And you damn sure don't have to worry about what everybody else thinks. But the thing is that there is no footage of the boardroom. Mandy has said it. People have looked for it. No one will put it up, but a lot of people won't put it up because they don't want to cross Sam. You know, and that's the bottom line. With the boardroom, there was 2 people in it. And that was kind of what was happening in that chat, is someone was talking about ATX when they were in the boardroom, and other people were going, yeah, but that means you've got to implicate Sam, right? That means that Sam is involved in this too. And right now, Sam is, I don't know, she's still apparently over there contributing to my ex-wife's mental demise. I guess there was a stream this weekend where she went camping or something, and it was largely humiliating for her, but Sam was in her chat beseeching people to throw money and to promote that whole situation. Give her money. She needs money. I'll help her. And kind of telling people that they need to contribute to the train wreck, exasperate the train wreck. So I didn't watch that. I saw, you know, some of the stuff on Twitter and that. But in light of what happened yesterday, that was kind of my opinion to people, that because there's been a few of them that were like, Sean, what do you think? And I said, well, look, everybody knows how everybody treated Lil Rosie in her final days. That's not, and everybody's going to kind of, that's not something like a channel and a content creator can get on there and they give their opinion and try to sway people back and forth. Randy has the ability to put a lot of people in her chat, for sure, because she's been here a while and she understands how to put people in the chat. I mean, with Mandy and I, we're more concerned with putting 400 people in a chat than we did that when we had DC Media Girl on our platform. We can if we want to do it. If we wanted to go down there, we can. But that's just not what we do anymore. So that stream happened, but it's not really going to affect a DC Media Girl's platform or anybody that follows her. It's not. If anything else, Randy doing what she did is going to help, for drama's sake, DC's channel, and the fact that people are going to go to Rumble, they're going to download Rumble that didn't have Rumble, and they're going to figure out how to watch Rumble. And that's good for DC Media Girl. That's the whole thing with drama. It's kind of an oxymoron when it comes to the morality thing. We can talk and drag people. The more we drag, the more people will go over and watch the other folks. And then there'll be silent listeners, you know, and they'll watch that. You've seen it with Mandy and I. You've seen it in the last 2 or 3 weeks where Sam and Trisha did a panel. Did they ever do the second panel? Somebody said they were going to do it again like a couple days ago. I don't know if that happened or not. And for Mandy, ATX, and I, it grew our channel. It made us look a little better. And people that are over in Sam's echo chamber don't think so, but look around. Look at the people who, look at our growth. I can show you that in AdSense. I can show you that in how our channel gained, you know, it's just the way it works. Randy understands that staying in old school drama, and she can say this wasn't about old school drama, but she could have really honored Rosie if she so had wanted to by just being quiet about it. But see, that's what Randy's channel is. Go find the drama and make it as loud as you can and get the more people in there. Go look at Randy's views, say like in the last month when she's just doing her thing. She gets the same type of views as most of us. Mandy and I too. But when she'll get a lot more views for yesterday's stream than she will on average. Just like Mandy and I got a ton more views when we addressed the Sam Trisha thing. And you can see that. You just got to go look at the analytics. That's how drama works. But to the people who feel like it's going to damage DC Media Girl's reputation or her channel, it's not. I think she's more concerned with the legal situation that she's in with Hussey. But she's got her lawyer. She's lawyered up. And, you know, I said to somebody, because Hussey said that he got assaulted and beat up in court. I'm not in court. Look, there's a Freudian slip. But that he got beat up in a bar, and he was trying to blame DC and Negs and people for that. That was the reason he got beat up, was because of them. I offer this, and people are like, wow. Hussey goes around and talks about how he slept with and had an affair with some New York Yankee baseball player's son. And he gave the person's name. He doesn't know anything about the position that the person played, but that he was a New York Yankee and this and that. I'm going to go ahead and say the baseball player's name for context is Bernie Williams. Anyone that watches baseball, especially if you're in your 50s, you know Bernie Williams when he's with the Yankees. And I offered, this is something that could somehow come up in court if a lawyer says it the right way. When they're trying to say they got beat up and they got assaulted, they got slandered, they got damaged because of something that another YouTuber did. Or that, you know, we're not YouTubers with millions of subs. But I offer, if he's going around routinely like he does on the internet here and brags about having a sexual relationship, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, you know, but he's saying he had a sexual relationship with Bernie Williams' son. Now, saying that out in the open, isn't that more likely to get your butt whooped for saying something like that in New York, big Yankee territory, about a player's son? I don't care if he was a straight guy and he was saying I was banging Derek Jeter's daughter. It's still not right to do it. It's still tasteless. It's still whatever. And if you go around in bars dressed like a clown, dressed like you're taking a break from the, you know, from the circus, and say, oh yeah, I slept with this person's son, that's more grounds for an ass whooping than anything that he's said to anybody else or that anybody else has said about him on the internet. I offered that up to in a certain group chat. This is what will come out of his lawsuit with DC Media. If they hear it at all, if they take it to trial or do all this, which I don't think will happen, but just for the sake of conjecture, he does enough on his own, i.e. bragging about a relationship with a famous baseball player's son. That's damaging. And that'll do more to his reputation and to his worth that he said, or his character, than anything that DC Media Girl or me or you or anybody else could say. So anyway, I hope that kind of roped it up. There was more than usual because people asking Mandy, and Mandy was putting me on the phone with them or having me slip into their DMs about that whole thing. And I just said, relax. This is drama. There was a lot of drama. Randy brings up that subject, Lil Rosie, when she thinks she needs to defend it, when she thinks that it needs to be addressed. And then everybody gets feeling some kind of way, and then everybody goes on with their life and their channel. And Wendy likes to always say when they're going for people that, oh, nobody watches them anyway, and their channel's no good, and nobody watches them. She likes to say that because they're trying to get their people to not watch. And that's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's more of an analytics thing, not to them. I'm not saying that it's more important that they get the numbers than the subject. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, but that actually happens to be what the real life result is everybody's channel grows a little bit, and then people go on to the next drama. Anyway, I know I've droned on and on and on, but I thought it was important to get it out because I have friends on both sides. I'm friendly with people that are in Wendy and Randy's chat. I'm friends with people that are over in DC's, and you know, I've been on panel with you know, Clara interviewed me about a week and a half ago, so I have friends on both sides. So I do. So they were asking for my opinion. Anyway, that's it. Wow, I did this for half an hour. It's all right. Yep. Peace.